Hi, I'm Michael Welch, President and CEO of Rocky Mountain High Brands. Welcome to today's podcast. Today I'm in the studio by myself. I have a guest via Skype that I'll introduce in just a moment. But first I want to acknowledge a couple of things that have gone on in the market this week. First of all, there was an announcement in terms of the growth of the Cbd market that's pretty exciting. Matt, if you'll bring that up. Rolling Stone announced that there's a new report that predicts that the CBD market will hit $22 billion by the year 2022. That's exciting news for our industry. It's exciting news for our company. So we were pleased to see that. It reinforces that we're in the right business at the right time as we continue to expand our hemp product line. The second announcement is very timely with us coming out with our new hemp beverages next week. It's that Coca-Cola is getting involved in cannabis beverages. So I've had several people contact me in the last couple of days with this news. And so we're excited about that because we think we're coming out with a very unique brand of beverages under our hemp name, and we've got an exciting new look for that, and we're very excited about the future for this brand. So I just wanted to acknowledge that before I introduce our guest. So today we have with us Jackson Stevens, and Jackson, welcome to our podcast today. We're very excited to have you on.
For having me.
You bet. So Jackson has been involved in the hemp industry since 2015 as both a grower and a consultant. Jackson, you're a graduate of the University of Tennessee. And actually, when I was growing up, I lived in Knoxville for a couple of years. So a beautiful place, a place that's near and dear to my own heart. You're on the cutting edge of CBD. You've taught our team everything that we know about CBD, so you're a very integral part of our organization, and we appreciate everything you've done for us. And you're always bringing new and exciting things to market. So why don't you basically tell us more about your background as both a grower and as a consultant and what you're up to now?
Sure. So we got started here in Tennessee. I'm based out of Nashville. We started growing in 2015 and quickly moved into the consulting space. I've been working with you guys and as well as farmers across the state and a few farmers in other states, helping with everything from seed to sale. As far as indoor and outdoor grow, and mainly focusing in high CBD hemp varieties. And so when we got into the consulting space, we started working on product development, whether that be with tinctures, capsules, hemp beverages, and a plethora of other unique products that we're really excited about and are either currently bringing to market or will be bringing to market very soon.
That's great. So where did Tennessee fall within the states that passed legislation concerning the legalization of hemp within a state?
Well, we were the second state in the South, right behind Kentucky, to legalize industrial hemp, being defined as cannabis plants with a 0.3% THC or less. And if I'm correct on this, I believe we were the fifth state overall in the nation to legalize.
Well, that's a great classification to have for the state of Tennessee.
Absolutely. We're very proud of it, and we've seen a lot of growth over the last 3 years and change.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So tell us about the differences in cannabis plants. I understand that there are quite a few varieties of hemp plants, and educate our audience on that a bit, if you will.
Sure. So not all hemp plants are created equal. There are several different industries that are using hemp. Uh, so you have fiber varieties, which are, for textiles, clothing, and things like that. And then you have high CBD varieties, which is a completely different growing process uh, that requires a lot more day-to-day care, and uh, basically that's what we've been focusing on. We haven't done too much in the fiber variety area. Our main focus has been on high CBD varieties since we got started in 2015.
So are all of these plants grown outdoors, or some of them grown indoors in growing rooms with like hydroponics? Or tell us about
Sure, we
that.
use a variety of different methods. We have outdoor and indoor, and as well as greenhouse, and we use some of our plants are in ground. We do hydroponics, aquaponics. There's several different ways to do it. Most of it involves, or the differences basically revolve around how you're giving nutrients and light to the plants, whether it's artificial LED lighting or direct sun lighting. And then with greenhouses, the great thing about greenhouses is that you can supplement sunlight with LED lights to get that extra growth that you're looking for.
So at what point in the growth pattern of a hemp plant do you reach that stage where you're running into risk that the THC level may be exceeding the legal limit?
So the plant will start out in what you call the vegetative stage, and when it changes from the vegetative stage into what you call the flowering stage, when it starts producing the buds, that happens based on how much light it's getting. We start the plants off with about 18 hours of light per day. That's sunlight and LED lighting. And as the sunlight, as you get less and less sunlight each day after the summer equinox, this triggers the plant to go into the flowering stage, and that's when the real CBD production starts, as well as THC production. So there's kind of a sweet spot in there, and it depends on the variety, but you're looking at, some varieties 5 weeks after the beginning of the flowering stage, and that can go all the way to 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the variety. But the trick to ensuring that the THC doesn't spike, as we call it, or get too high above that 0.3% threshold is really in the genetics, to make sure you have high quality seed that has been bred to have those low levels of THC, so you can avoid your plants testing quote unquote hot.
So what happens when they test hot?
Uh, Oftentimes when they test hot, you'll have a second test done to ensure that the first test results were accurate. In the state of Tennessee, if you do test hot, they will confiscate the plants, and they'll usually burn them. So it's really important that you know what you're doing, and that you have your plants tested at the right time, and that you start with high quality genetics in order to avoid that kind of situation, because that can be pretty catastrophic for a farmer.
So is it the state agricultural department that confiscates the plant? Who confiscates the plants?
Uh, it would be the TBI in conjunction with the state agriculture department. They work hand in hand. The TBI comes out and does testing, as well as the agriculture center.
And what does TBI stand for?
Forgive, it's the FBI of Tennessee. So
Oh, okay.
Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it. So as before I introduced you, I was reading the headline about the CBD industry growing to 22 billion by 2022. With that type of growth, how will the how will growers meet the demand for all of the hemp and the CBD that will be required to meet that type of demand that'll end up in products?
Oh, well, farmers have been scaling up each year since 2015 here, and that will continue. The first year, I believe we grew 1,100 acres. We've tripled that in 3 years, and that'll continue to happen. More and more indoor operations are popping up each year as well. So a lot of it will be acreage outside, but there also is going to be a lot more high quality grow operations that are done indoor with exclusively LED lighting. And on top of that, there's going to be a lot of processing facilities that are popping up just to be able to meet the demands. I know in the past year here in the state of Tennessee, 5 different processing facilities have opened up, and we expect that number to double or triple even in the next year.
So, are some of the hemp farmers former tobacco farmers that have switched over?
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover there, especially in Tennessee and as well as in Kentucky that have, you know, they were growing tobacco back in the day, and back when you could still, make a profit doing so, and then it became a subsidized commodity, and with the legalization of hemp here, a lot of them have switched over and are growing exclusively hemp, and not only with tobacco, but a lot of soy and corn farmers here have switched over or are doing both at the same time now. So.
Well, that's good information. So tell us about your history with CBD and how it's impacted you.
Well, I use CBD on a daily basis. I'm pretty active, and I use it on a daily basis. After I go for a run, after I work out, things like that. It helps me with my muscle soreness and my recovery. And I also use it to improve my sleep quality. I've noticed a huge difference in how quickly I fall asleep, and my ability to stay asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. And so that's what I use it for personally. I know there are a lot of people out there that use it for a variety of different reasons, but that's how I have noticed the tremendous benefits of CBD.
So I use it for the same reason. I use it for sleep and I use it for stress release. It's helped me quite a bit with stress.
Big time, yeah.
So those are my two uses. So I've noticed a big difference over the last few months in using it. So how will the landscape change after the Farm Bill of 2018 passes?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said, how will the landscape change after the Farm Bill of 2018 passes?
Well, I think it's just going to expand, and the whole industry is going to explode. That $22 billion number that you were talking about just a few minutes ago, that's going to come into play as a result of this Farm Bill. It's going to be a nationwide phenomenon as opposed to being limited to certain states. And as we learn more and more about CBD and the benefits, and as the FDA kind of catches up on its research and starts actually backing and supporting some of the anecdotal claims that you hear out there about how CBD can benefit your life, that's going to play a really big role in the expansion of this market.
In addition to CBD, there are other cannabinoids that are produced by hemp plants, correct?
Yes, that is correct. There, CBG, for instance, CBN. There are hundreds of phytocannabinoids that work synergistically with CBD and to help bring about different effects that can improve your, you know, quality of living and help with a myriad of maladies that people face on a daily basis.
So when will we start hearing about the others, and should we start planning our new products around the others to be first to market?
Yes, I believe so. I think here in the next couple of years, you'll start seeing a lot more research done with other cannabinoids. Just like 5 years ago, very few people had even heard of CBD, and now it's a pretty commonly known thing. You're going to start hearing about other cannabinoids that can help, with health and quality of life and all that good stuff. It's definitely coming up the pipeline quickly, and I believe that it would be very advantageous to jump on that and start with the research and development of other products that can not only work with themselves but can actually increase the effectiveness of CBD.
So it's interesting that the article that I was referring to earlier was talking about how CBD is outpacing THC. We hear a lot about legalization of marijuana, but now we're hearing more about the legalization of hemp and the products that don't contain THC.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is starting to outstrip the THC market, and the biggest reason is because of how multifaceted CBD is. There are medicinal benefits. Of course, we can't officially claim that until the FDA backs that up, but of THC. But with CBD being so multifaceted, and you hear lots of anecdotal evidence supporting that. That's where the difference comes from, as well as not having any psychoactive properties. So you're not getting a sense of euphoria or a high, if you will, off of the CBD product, but you are experiencing the benefits.
So is there anything else that you can add to what we've talked about that would be beneficial to people that are users of CBD?
Sure. Well, CBD, like a lot of different products that people use to improve their quality of life, is something that you can take on a daily basis, and it can build up in your system, and over time will become more and more effective. As opposed to it's less of a take it as needed thing, and more of something that you want to do on a daily basis. Like I said, for me personally, with muscle recovery, with anxiety, with sleep quality, and things like that.
So it acts with the endocannabinoid system, correct?
It does. It does. It interacts with the what we call the ECS, or the endocannabinoid system, which is a system in your body that kind of helps regulate all other systems in your body. It helps with the circulation and hormone regulation and all of that good stuff. It's really multifaceted, and it's something that has evolved in mammalian species as we have evolved. We've essentially, a lot of scientists are starting to point to the probability that we have evolved as a species with this plant.
I wasn't aware of the fact that our bodies actually produce CBD until we got into this line of business and started doing some research on the endocannabinoid system. So that was news to me. So I had not heard of the endocannabinoid system until we got into this. So it was fascinating. So
well, it's all a lot of new research, and it's definitely exciting to find out about. There has been a stigma about it for so long, and now we're starting to realize that just how beneficial this plant can be for improving quality of life.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us today, Jackson. This has been very, very informative. You never cease to amaze me with your knowledge on the hemp plant and on CBD and this whole area. So we look forward to having you come back to Dallas and educating us some more one-on-one.
I'm very excited about it. It's been an honor to be here today. I really appreciate you having me on, and I look forward to doing it again soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us for today's brief but informative episode of our Rocky Mountain High Show.